today I wanted to shoot a review of this hilt, which is an Ekoa Beryllium from Bendu Armory Sabers. Now again, this is one of their 3 new models that have come out recently, along with the Rhodium, which is their curved hilt model with no vent holes, and the Prometheum, which is a longer, straight, inorganic, I consider to be kind of Mandalorian-looking model. The Beryllium is the 3rd of these, and again, it features an inorganic design. So unlike traditional Bendu Armory sabers that are full of curves and sort of fluid shapes, the 3 new ones are much more hard angles, as you can see here, and much more like a traditional lightsaber aesthetic. Now, that's in some ways appealing. In other ways, I kind of miss the organic feel of the other sabers. But since they use a swappable chassis system, I just unscrew these 2 things and the whole chassis and internals slide out. The inorganic models, the 3 newer models, give you a different aesthetic that you can achieve just by sliding a sleeve onto your electronics without having to buy a whole new saber. So it's kind of a low-risk proposition because all you're getting, they are expensive sleeves, but all you're getting is a sleeve, and you slide that onto your electronics. And if you don't want an inorganic design and you want to go back to the obsidian, you pop it off and slide it back on. So that's kind of nice. It gives you something different to play with. The Beryllium design is in the middle of the 3 new ones in terms of my appreciation for it. I really like the Rhodium with its curved hilt and its leather grip. I'm not a real big fan. Well, I do still like it because it gives you a chance to show off the weave, but the Prometheum is my least favorite of the 3, but again, still, if I was going with a Mandalorian cosplay and I wanted to carry a Bendu Armory, this is the one I'd go for. The Beryllium is somewhere in the middle. It's probably the most traditional looking or the most angular and classic lightsaber design of the 3. So that trying to look like the stuff that would be that would generally be machined, this is the one that pulls that off most successfully. It features ridges on the back, grip ridges, which this one I think more than the Prometheum. It pulls these off well. These actually look like separate parts that are actually pretty functional for keeping your hand on the saber, as opposed to the Prometheum, which used these sort of faux pommel approach. I think this works better with the design. The only thing about this one is, unlike the Prometheum, this one has a lot of this directional carbon fiber, this gray material right here. Okay, so if you're looking for something that's really going to showcase the carbon fiber weave that you've got, this one does it less so. This carbon fiber weave I'll talk about in just a moment, but this is one of their wood finishes, and I rather like this one. This design also features some faux buttons up here. Now, I think this is my least favorite part of the design, because these do not look like buttons. If this is going to be a grip of some kind, then that's fine. But having it look kind of like buttons when they're right next to the real buttons didn't really work for me. On the whole, I think this is a very successful design. This is my least favorite part of it. Okay, so the nice thing about the inorganic designs, you can see the seam down here. That's part of the manufacture of these things. They all have them. Especially with wood designs, though, that seam gets to be distracting. I'll show you on my marbled Karaku here. So you see there's a clear delineation there in the wood the wood grain along that seam. All right, they've gotten better at hiding the seams. They've gotten better at hiding the seams in the newer versions, and the straight wood design, it's a whole lot easier to mesh that seam. But if you're looking at a wood design, this is the only place where we have to worry about the seam, this tiny little bit right here. This part right here is all gray, so you don't have to worry about the wood grain matching up incorrectly anywhere other than here. And that said, they did a fine job, I think, of making the wood not, the seam rather on here not look distracting on that one spot. So this is a pretty nice design. I like the grip section here. I don't really care for the buttons, but it's very classic looking lightsaber while still having that fluid organic carbon fiber, which really plays well with the wood grain. I really do like this Ekoa design a lot better than the Karaku, simply because the vertical grains on the wood go much better with the Saber, and it totally reads as wood, which is nice. So this one has vents in the bottom, like the Promethium, but unlike the rhodium. I kind of like not having the vents because it makes it a little bit more weatherproof, but putting the vents in does make it slightly louder. So this one and the Promethium both have vents, the rhodium does not. So the inorganic designs, it's a different aesthetic. It's nice to have that option. They are all of them stunning looking sabers. The Promethium, even though it is my least favorite design, is still a nice design. My Promethium actually, this Promethium and this Beryllium are actually the exact two sabers that they used for their web images when you order these. So if you go to order either of these things, these are the sabers that you're looking at in those cover images. So the owner of Bendu Armory apparently agrees with me that these were good color palette choices on these. But I really like the way that the wood plays with this one, though it isn't as highlighted as it would be with this one. Different way to change up your Bendu Armory sabers by going with an inorganic aesthetic. All right, so here we are. This is the Ekoa Beryllium. Hopefully this review has been of use to you. If it has, join me back for more. We'll be looking at the Golden Harvest swappable chassis that comes with some of these things, and then we'll move on to some other things, and I'll see you then.